Everything's weird. But anyway, I think I got it now. Welcome. Welcome. Come on in. Come on in. Welcome to Breakfast with Michele and Emrys. We are having leftover vegan pizza, the Panago, and vegan nuggets. We did some adventuring this weekend for my brother's birthday, and so we're not having bacon at breakfast today. But I do want to talk to you today about our Amsterdam plans, or Norway plans, I should say. We are headed to Norway, the Norwegian Fjords, past the Arctic Circle, with Royal Caribbean through on the Jewel of the Seas. Not my preferred cruise line, not my preferred ship, but Princess Cruises does not have an Arctic Circle cruise at a time that I could do it. They do have one coming up at the end of June, but they didn't have any in July or August. So we're kind of limited on what we could do. So anyway, we decided to go ahead with this one. And at the time when we were booking only Royal because we hadn't been back on a Royal ship. Anyway, now we are set to only Princess, but for right now we are going with Royal Caribbean. So I want to talk to you guys about all the fun adventures. We are going to have 13 nights on the Jewel of the Seas. It's a smaller ship, which I'm excited for because I'm kind of tired of big ships with Royal Caribbean. We do have the Adventure of the Seas coming up in August, but I'm excited for that one, just as like a relaxing cruise after this one. Whereas this one's gonna be, I'm hoping, Alaska 2.0. We loved going to Alaska with Princess, and so we're hoping that this one will be like Alaska, but like a little better in terms of scenery and things to learn about and explore. It'll be a downgrade from Princess in our opinions because we love the Princess ships, we love the Princess crew, we love the Princess medallion, we love Princess. So we're gonna miss out on some of that Princess stuff, but we have a lot of that coming up. So we're okay. We have like 3 other Princess cruises currently booked, and 2 weeks, 1 week, 3 weeks, and then we have 5 weeks coming up as soon as they open up Alaska for 2026. But anyway, so we are flying in early July to Amsterdam. I'm flying in 2 days early. I always recommend to clients to fly in at least 2 days early when you're doing international flights. 1 day early if it's just domestic, or like here from Canada to the US, just doing 1 day ahead is fine, but always at least 1 day ahead. Christmas time, holidays, that I recommend 2 days ahead, just in case of delays or weather delays, especially in winter time. Summer, we don't have necessarily too bad of weather delays. Usually it's like an hour or 2 delay for lightning or something like that, but not usually full on, like flights are canceled because of snow. So we are flying in 2 days early. It also helps with jet lag and stuff. And then we are staying at an airport hotel. So we will shuttle over to the hotel. We're landing at like 7 something in the morning, I think. So the hotel room probably won't be ready, but we're hoping at least we can drop off our luggage there. Yeah, so the first day in Amsterdam, so we have a full day in Amsterdam. We land, and then we're gonna hopefully like walk around for a bit, and then go back to the hotel, take a nap, just hang around the hotel area. And then the following day, we are gonna be going on our Amsterdam adventure. So we are planning on going to the Van Gogh Museum. I love Van Gogh, and I've wanted to go to that museum ever since I heard about it. So we are hopefully gonna go there. We were originally gonna do a Van Gogh Museum tour with, there's another famous museum. We're not like super into art, we're just kind of into Van Gogh. But there's another famous museum there as well that I can't remember how to pronounce. And then, so it was that tour, the Van Gogh tour, and then the canal tour. And so my travel agency uses a tour group to facilitate those tours. And so we were hoping to go with them, but I wasn't a fan of their customer service. And so I won't use a service that I don't believe in, and I don't sell a service that I don't believe in. So I was like, no, I don't care, because we get discounts and stuff as travel agents. And I was like, even with discounts and free people and stuff like that, I was like, nope. Nope, you guys don't have good customer service. I'm not putting my vacation or my client's vacation or recommending or anything like that. So we decided to do our own thing, and we're like, okay, what can we do instead? So we looked at some, there's like the Amsterdam card that gives you access to a bunch of different places. We were looking at possibly doing that. We were looking into a bunch of different stuff, but for the most part, we wanted to go on the canals and we wanted to go to the Van Gogh Museum. Those were our two big ones. And we're like, if we are jet lagged, we are not going to want to try to go to 10 different places in a day. It's just not going to happen. So we were like, okay, what can we do that gives us a bit of freedom, but also lets us see some stuff? And unfortunately, a lot of things in Amsterdam, you actually have to have appointments for, like reservations for. So us traveling, it's like, we don't know how long it's going to take. I mean, we can guesstimate based off the bus schedules and stuff, but we're like, no clue how long it's actually going to physically take us to get from point A to point B. So we're like, we just want to have more of a casual, relaxed time. We are not in general, we are not people that like to jump from one thing to another. I have a daughter who has special needs. We need to take it slow. If we need to stop and eat, if she needs a diaper change, all that kind of stuff, we need to be able to do that. So we ended up deciding on getting a ticket for the hop on and off bus and boat. So for a few dollars more, you can add on the opposite. So if you wanted to do the boat, you can add on the bus. If you want to do the bus, you can add on the boat. So we were like, you know what, let's do that, because that actually stops at a ton of different places. And so we are going to book for sure the Van Gogh Museum. We're going to aim to do it after lunch. So that way if we're jet lagged and we sleep in or anything like that, we don't have to worry about rushing there first thing in the morning. So our plan is we will take, our hotel has a shuttle to the airport. So we'll take the shuttle to the airport. We'll take the train from the airport into Central Station. And then we can hop on, I think we decided we're going to do the bus first. And so we're going to hop on the bus and take the bus tour around. It's like 70 minutes or something like that. And so we'll do that. That's our first plan, is to hop on the bus and go for a bus ride. And if there's some place that we want to stop off at, we can. But for the most part, our plan is to just kind of go on a bus tour. And then, and the bus goes every like 30 minutes. So if we did decide to hop off somewhere, like there's the science center and stuff like that, we then don't have to like wait a ton of time when we're done to be able to hop back on. It just comes down to more like, can we get into these places without reservations? That will be more the struggle, but there's sometimes that's like, oh, I want to go take pictures outside. Like there's the science center, and then there's like a maritime museum, and they all look really cool externally. So it's like, oh, if we could just go there and hang out outside there. It doesn't give us the best like review ability to be like, oh, we didn't go to these places. But for us, we just want to see, we just don't want to have to deal with reservations and like a strict schedule. So our plan is to do that, and we're going to loop back to Central Station. Then we're going to go have lunch. We're going to find lunch and enjoy lunch. And then we're going to hop on, then we're going to go to the Van Gogh. I think we're going to take I think our plan was we're going to get back to Central Station, hop on the boat, take the boat to where the Van Gogh Museum is, then have lunch. I think that was our plan. Because I think there was like a Hard Rock Cafe, like not a long walk from there. And just try to see what we can in the area. I have dietary restrictions. My daughter has dietary restrictions. My brother is a picky eater. So usually like safe places like Hard Rock Cafes are kind of my go-to when we're traveling international. This is my brother's first international trip. So it'll be interesting to see how he does with the flying and the jet lag and all that stuff. But yeah, so then we're gonna go to the Van Gogh Museum, and then we are gonna take the boat back to Central Station. We'll hop back on the train, take the train to the airport, take the airport shuttle back to the hotel. So that is Amsterdam. That's 10 minutes of me talking about Amsterdam. But basically, we want to go to the Van Gogh Museum, and you have to have a reservation for it. And we want to see the city a bit, not necessarily like walking through it, but like we will do the hop on a bus, and then we'll do the hop on a boat, just so that way we can get a bit of a tour. So the rest of our itinerary might be out of order because Royal has changed it 7 million times, and I can't keep track of what is what anymore. So I just wrote it down like I had it in my notebook. I could have checked the app to like double check things, but this was just easier to see like, this is what I planned. So these are the ports I don't think have changed. I think just the order of them might have changed. Like they have flipped a few. And they keep changing our times for our excursions and stuff. So I'm like, whatever. I'm not even going to write down any of that. So anyway, so I have notes. So if I'm looking that way, that's why. So first off, we have a sea day. We used to hate sea days, and now we love them. So we're kind of sad we only have, I think, 3 sea days and 13 nights. And that's the same as when we do our Mediterranean cruise. We have 21-day Mediterranean, and I think we only have 3 sea days. But there's some duplicate ports, so those duplicate ports, we might spend more time on the ship. We might just get off, walk around a tiny bit, and then get back on. But yeah, we're like, long cruises with lots of sea days is what we want, which is why we're doing 5 weeks in Alaska in 2026. Anyway, so we have a sea day, then we go to Granger. We are not doing an excursion there. We are going to walk to the Norwegian Fjord Center. There's a Norwegian Fjord, like, sciencey museum-y thingy. So we're going to walk to that. I don't think it was very far. I didn't write down distances. I probably should have. But it wasn't very far, so we're going to walk there and check that out. There is a nominal fee. We are pre-purchasing tickets for that. It's not that expensive. I would say it was like $20 or something like that, Canadian per person. Then we are heading to Mold. We are gonna walk to the Romsdal Museum. I feel like this was the one that was like a historical site. Like there was like houses and stuff like that. Like maybe Viking. Do not quote me on this. I have no notes written down. I'm just going by memory. But again, I feel like that was a place that was like $20 or $30 and Canadian, and like a couple kilometer walk. I feel like that one was an uphill walk, but this is the thing with not doing excursions and not doing like pressuring ourselves to get things done. We can take our time. We don't have to like rush to get there at a certain time. Some of these we might have a certain designated time, but I feel like for the most part we don't. And just having that casual, like, let's go walking around and check out the place. And when we get there, we get there. When we look around, when we want to leave, we can. And we are not like, me and my brother both have ADHD. When we go to a museum and stuff, we are not someone that reads every little line. We don't go to art galleries and like look at every little painting and analyze. Van Gogh Museum, I might spend a little bit more time at because it's my favorite artist. But really, like when we go to places, it's like, oh, there's a nice painting, there's a nice historical thing, there's a nice whatever. We just aren't like detail-oriented people. So we like the flexibility of flowing at our own pace versus being with the tour group where you're like, okay, next, come on, next, I'm ready to move on. So anyway, moving on, we have sea day. This is, I believe, the sea day that we cross over the Arctic Circle. So you'll get our blue nose of being north of the Arctic Circle. And I think this is the day that we are going to attempt to get up at like 3 o'clock in the morning to just go and look upstairs at the sun. We might try to time it for sunset, sunrise, but the sun doesn't actually set. So like, I think there's like a moment where it's like slightly less and then it starts like as low as it goes. And then, so I think we're going to try to find out the times for that and wake up to see the sunset and sunrise. Do you want more pizza? And then we go to Honungsvåg, which is pretty far north. It's our northest port. And so no, you don't want pizza? Do you want more nugget? Do you want a nugget? It's our most northern port. And so with this one, there's just a World War II memorial. So I think we're just gonna walk to that. That is our like goal, to walk to there, and then we'll walk around the town and stuff a bit. But nothing super structured. There's no museum, nothing like that. It's literally just a memorial that I was like, oh, here's an objective that we can walk towards. Because sometimes I need like a little bit of a target to be like, okay, this is where I'm walking to, and then I can just walk around from there. Tip, if you are doing this where you are walking around random ports, pre-download the maps to your phone from Google Maps, because then you can still access them even when you don't have internet. My brother is getting getting an eSIM card for Europe, so he will have access to the internet. I will not. I am using internet on the ship. We kind of were like, hey, what can we do? And as a perk as a travel agent, there's certain things that I can access. Royal Caribbean's perks aren't as good as, say, Princess's for travel agents, but one of the perks is I can get internet on a cruise. We'll see if they approve it or not, but they should. So our plan is I have internet on the ship. He will have internet off the ship, because otherwise I would just do the same thing. I would do, we used Holofly. Anyway, we used them before and we like them. They have good rates. They have good service. So I'll just do an eSIM. If Royal says no to internet on the ship, I will just do an eSIM because internet on ship is expensive. And with such a port-heavy cruise, we can easily access the internet almost every day other than those 3 sea days. And depending on where you are, how close to land you are, you might even be able to access it on those sea days. Because some of those sea days were actually like in fjords. So potentially we can even have service there depending on cell towers and distances to cities and stuff like that. So anyway, where was I? So after Honningsvåg, we go to Tromsø. Tromsø is also above the Arctic Circle. We're now heading back down. And my thing was I wanted to find somewhere while we were above the Arctic Circle, so either Honningsvåg or Tromsø, to touch the ocean. I don't think it's technically the Arctic Ocean until even further up, but it is like Arctic Ocean adjacent and is above the Arctic Circle. So yeah, I'm like, I really want to touch it. And there is, it's a bit of a walk. I think it's about 3 kilometers one way. A bit of a walk to a park, and there's a beach there. And I was like, I am not swimming in this beach because it's probably, even in July, fairly cold. Maybe it's not. Honestly, maybe it's not. If you have a swimming beach, maybe it's not. But I'm like, I want to go touch the ocean, and this seems to be the best way to do it. The easiest to access and stuff. So it'll give us a nice longer walk, and it will give us a nice little park view and access to a beach for me to touch. So touch the water and see how cold it is. But yeah, the other side of I think it's probably like still the Atlantic Ocean. I don't know. Actually, I think it's like the Norwegian something. Maybe, I don't know. Geography is not my major. Then we hit up another sea day, and this is when we are starting to get more south and more into fjords again. And we are going on Flam has our first excursion, and this was something we saw on Ben and David, Cruise with Ben and David. I don't know if you guys know them, but they did this Flam railroad train that looked magnificent. My daughter loves trains. We did the one in Skagway. We've done some like train rides locally that are just short and stuff like that, but we did the Skagway one and she loved it. If you want to see our vlogs from Alaska, there's a whole compilation of them. But she loved it, and so we were like, when we saw this train, and this train stops by like a waterfall and whatnot, so we were like, yes, train. And we decided to pay a little bit extra for one that goes a little bit further and goes to, don't shake the table please, sweetie, and goes to this hotel thingy that has Norwegian waffles. They probably aren't vegan, but I'm like, you know what, I'm in Norway, there's Norwegian waffles, I'm eating Norwegian waffles. I'm sorry it's shaking, she's rocking and stimming here. So yeah, so we are very excited for that. We were like, trade. It sells out fast, so I'm glad we got on that one. And that one going all the way to the hotel area, it sells out very fast. So it was expensive. I want to say like 300 something Canadian per person, maybe even more than that. But in our opinion, well worth it. And this is what we do. We choose a few excursions per cruise, and we're just like, okay, we're going to do this excursion and this excursion. And that's it. The rest of the places we're going to try to figure it out on our own. So we kind of pick our most important ones. Then we hit up, this is where I think the itinerary gets a little messy, but Ålesund, I don't know how to spell it, how to say it. Ålesund. Anyway, there is like the city trolley tour thing. So we're going to hit up that. And that was kind of pricey. I feel like it was like $50 or $60 per person. But you go on like a little city tour with this little trolley thing. You buy that at the cruise port. You don't have to prepay it or anything like that. So we're like, this would give us something that's a little bit something where we're not walking around a lot, but will let us see the city more. And then we hit up Olden. Olden, originally our plan was to take the glacier. There's like what are they called? Troll cars. So like this ATV looking thing, you take it up a mountain and then you hike a little bit further to a glacier. Well, I don't know if the troll car one was sold out or if I booked the wrong one, but we ended up booking the one that was the complete hike. And you have basically 45 minutes to hike up this mountain. I think it was like 3 miles up this mountain, and then 45 minutes to hike back down. and I am not in the best of shape, and then I would either be pushing my daughter in her stroller, which acts as her wheelchair, or I would be carrying her on my back. Both of those options mean we gotta hustle, just because of timing. And so then by the time you get to the glacier, you might only have like 2 or 3 minutes to actually see it if you're lucky. Even fit people have said that the tour is kind of very rushed because you don't have much time to actually sit there and embrace glacier once you hike it up. Even people that did the troll car were saying that there's just not a lot of time up there. And I'm like, with our luck, we will hike up, like get halfway and need to turn around because it's too far. And we were just like, you know what, the glacier's receding, we would have liked to have seen it, but physically and mentally not really worth the stress. We are, like I said, very casual, laid-back travelers. We prefer stuff that we don't have to stress about. So we decided to switch it for a bus tour. And this bus tour goes to, I didn't write it down, I think Sten Lake or something like that. Beautiful, beautiful area. We get a bus ride up a mountain, beautiful gardens and whatnot that we get to see. And then we stop off at a little cafe thing that I think had like Norwegian pancakes, I think was what it was there. Again, probably not vegan, but I don't care because I'm in Norway. So again, just like a nice little relaxing bus tour where we're not stressed, where we're not like freaking out about trying to get somewhere in time. And honestly, we're probably gonna have better views than just hiking up a mountain and seeing a glacier for 5 seconds, if we even make it to the glacier. If we ever go back, which given the state of cruising in Norway, we probably won't, but if we ever got back, maybe we would try to do the troll car one, because that at least gets you up most of the mountain, and then you have like a mile hike after that. But yeah, so Norway, in case you don't know, Norway is banning cruise ships to a lot of these fjords starting 2026 if they are not LNG, which is liquid natural gas, I think. So the new ships that like Royal Caribbean and Princess are building are LNG. That is the way of the future. That is the most environmentally friendly way, and so they are switching to that. But I don't know what ships will be able to go in there. Currently, Royal has none because they're building these monstrosities like the Icon of the Seas and like Utopia and stuff like that. So they're building huge ships still. They do not have a small ship that will be able to do that. The Jewel is like one of their smallest ships, and it's definitely the smallest ship we've been on. And so, yeah, they don't have a small ship that can do it that's LNG. So I don't know if they have plans on making one that's smaller. There's definitely demand for it. A lot of people hate the big ships. And I feel like by them creating bigger ships, they're going to lose clientele that prefer the smaller ships. Because a lot of people are just like, I don't want big ships and I'm tired of the Caribbean, let me see the world. So as more and more places ban non-LNG ships, I think Royal is in trouble if they don't start building new ones. But whether or not they care, because they can sell out the overpriced Icon of the Seas and places like Perfect Day, charging ridiculous prices to go there. So I don't know that they're even worried about losing the Norway market. But anyway, Princess, on the other hand, so Princess has the Sun Princess and the Star Princess. They're the newest ships and they are LNG. I don't know if they're small enough to get into some of these fjords though, because they are the largest ships Princess has. They're like almost half the size of Royal ships though, like Icon, but they're still fairly large. So I don't know that they can go in there, but Princess at least I feel is heading towards, they will always hopefully stay on the smaller ship market. So anyway, my whole thing was we might never get a chance to see this glacier ever again, because if we ever do get there, it might be too far receded, and also we don't know which cruise lines will be able to pull it off, and who knows what Norway even says with some of the smaller LNG ships if they ban them completely. Anyway, where was I? Our last port is Bergen, so we are gonna walk to the funicular, which is this like trolley thing that takes you up a mountain. So we're gonna walk to that, and then we were deciding if we wanted to do a round trip pass for that. It wasn't very expensive. I wanna say it was like less than 20 bucks Canadian, but we were like, let us just take it up and then we'll walk back. So there's a nice walking path, hike. You can hike up and back, but me and hills are not friends. But I can hike down a hill, and it looked like a very nice path. It looked like it was stroller friendly. So our plan is we will take the funicular up the mountain. I think there's like a gift shop and a cafe up at the top. So we'll go explore that a bit, and then we'll just take a casual walk back to the ship after that. And then our last day is a sea day before heading back to Amsterdam. Amsterdam, we have a post-cruise tour booked. If you are needing, Bryony, I have been watching since a couple minutes, but only now just saying hi, was in the shower. How do I read the rest of it? Oh no, where is it? All. Oh no. All. My mom wants to do a Norwegian cruise with me and my sister. If you want to do a Norwegian cruise, you got to do it before 2026. Like you have to do it 2025. Or I think it's starting July of 2026 that they're banning that. So if you're doing it, get on it. I would recommend Princess, and I would recommend doing an Arctic Circle one. I think the Arctic Circle one is totally worth it. It's a bit longer, but like you get to go way more north, which is just really fun. Anyway, we head back to Amsterdam, and if you are needing a transfer to the airport and you have, like, we are flying out the following day, because actually flying out the following day was actually cheaper than flying out the day of. Significantly cheaper, like even including a hotel, it still was cheaper. So we were like, okay, we'll take a shuttle to the airport, and then we'll stay at the same hotel and take the airport shuttle to the hotel, and then in the morning we'll take it back over. So if you are needing a transfer to the airport and you either have a late flight or you have a flight the following day, highly recommend taking the airport transfer tours. Especially if you do what we do, where we're staying in an airport hotel. Princess offers whole packages with hotels, so you can do like, it'll take you to your hotel and then pick you up and take you to the airport, and vice versa, we'll take you from the airport to the hotel and then hotel to the ship. But if you are doing the DIY method that we do, most of the time where we stay at an airport hotel, we'd use that shuttle back and forth, and then we use the cruise line shuttle to and from the ship. Highly recommend trying to squeeze in a tour. So we have a tour booked because we aren't leaving that day. So it's actually going to take us out of Amsterdam into like where all the windmills and the tulips and all that are. My brother has a friend in Amsterdam, was talking to him about like, oh, we're going to do this. And he's like, it's absolutely beautiful out there. You're going to love it. It began with a Z. I don't know how to say it. But basically go out there and see this beautiful place. So we're like, the price difference between just getting to the airport and getting to do this tour was like $10 Canadian. Like the prices for adding a tour on usually are not too bad if you just want like a bus tour. If you want something more than that, you could be looking at like $100 more or $80 more per person. But in this case, it wasn't that much more. So we're like, yes, add that on, please. We got to do the shuttle anyway, and this allows us to not have to worry about. Royal is very weird with their shuttles and stuff for booking, and this we booked this cruise before I was a travel agent. I had booked it with a travel agent, but that travel agent reduced her business and dropped us off as clients. So I took back the booking, but I couldn't take it back as a travel agent, and so I don't have access the same way I do as a travel agent. So the booking of transfers and stuff all has to be done through their call center, which is kind of a nightmare. And there's also certain things, like when we were booking our transfers, they were like, we can't book your transfer from the ship, we can only book your transfer to the ship. You have to do that while you're on board, and like there's so much nonsense sometimes with, and Royal's app is not good, but like the nonsense of just trying to like the logistics of navigating stuff. Royal also no longer does packages for hotels, which is frustrating because we loved having a pre-cruise package where you get to the airport, you land, you go get your luggage, and then you find your rep. Your rep is there, they take you to your hotel, you stay the night, they give you instructions on what to do in the morning, which is usually like tag your luggage and bring your luggage somewhere. Then they take care of your luggage, they take care of you, transfer you to your ship. It seems like Royal dropped this after COVID, probably because they were just like, oh, there's not enough people. Like the difference between when we've done it with Princess and when we've done it with Royal is huge with the amount of people. With Princess, every single time we did it, there was a bus that was fairly packed. When we done it with Royal, there was like one other family with us. Like it just wasn't as big of a thing, I guess. But for us, we prefer that all-inclusive stuff, and that's what I usually book for clients. I usually book because I only book hotel packages. or I book Marriott hotels just because I believe in the Marriott brand. And like I said at the beginning, if you were watching then, I only book stuff that I believe in. I don't book with things that I don't agree with, or I don't find are good quality. So for clients that want to do their own thing, they're welcome to do that. But I book mostly princess packages because I book mostly princess. But that is obviously not an option with Royal, which is kind of frustrating. And then, so we are not staying at a Marriott for this cruise because I couldn't get a good rate, and I'm frugal more than I am quality, especially because just with rates that I can get as a travel agent. It's different than what I can get for like clients when you're paying like roughly the same. Europe though, man, if you live in Europe, what is up with just having twin beds? I've been to Asia and I've been to Europe before, so this is not a new thing for me, but it's just one of those things where I'm like, oh my God, this room only sleeps 2 people. We have 3 of us. This room sleeps 2 people. This room sleeps 2 people. It's like, where are the rooms that sleep 3 people? And then I co-sleep with my daughter. She will not sleep on her own. So like needing a room that at least has a double and a twin, or like, I don't know, a pullout with a double would be great. Just like really hard to find rooms that have more than 2 doubles or 2 twins, I mean, which is the same thing in, like I said, in Asia. I was lucky if I found a room with 2 twins because often I was booking rooms that just had 1 twin, and previous Europe trips have been mostly once I had a king bed in a hotel that was horrible, but all the other times I always had twin beds. So it's, oh no, did I have, nope, I think I've stayed at an airport one where I had a queen bed. But like most of the time I've had 2 twin beds, but it's just harder now. But still, even just having 1 queen bed or 1 king bed is not helpful when we have 3 of us. And I travel with my brother, so it's not even like, oh, we've got a king size bed, the 3 of us can share the bed. I'm not sleeping in the bed with my brother. So yeah, it's just, I was like, oh man. This is hard. I know cruising, we are with 2 twin beds, and I know it's kind of probably like, well, she's complaining about 2 twin beds, but she's using that for cruising. The difference is often the hotels won't allow 3 people in. In the UK, you can usually ask and they'll put you in a room with a sofa bed or 2 doubles or something. I just don't know about the rest of Europe. Okay, good to know. We are going to the UK in 2027. We 100% are going to the UK in 2027 and possibly 2028 as well. So we'll have to figure that out when we go there. But the difference with the cruise beds and the hotel beds is, one, the fact that these rooms won't even allow for 3 people. If it was like, okay, we have 2 twin beds, but they'll let us sleep 3 people in that room, fine. Like my daughter's young and little and stuff like that. But a lot of them are like, no, there's no occupancy. This is double occupancy only, not allowed. And then the other issue is with the cruise, we have beds against the wall. So my daughter sleeps against the wall and I sleep beside her, which is so comfortable. Princess actually wasn't that bad. Royal beds are actually a little bit bigger, a little wider, but they're not as comfortable. So we'll see how this goes. We did Royal in the summer, but we had a pull-out couch that we ended up sleeping on because we stayed in a promenade view room and there was no way to have the beds in a way that would work out. That was our first cruise with her, and our plan was to have her sleep on the mattress on the floor, and she said no. So in order for us to sleep, this is what we gotta do. But yeah, sleeping, usually she's against the wall. Royal beds are a bit wider, so hopefully with the Jewel with 13 nights it won't be too bad, but she's getting bigger, so I need to get smaller. That's kind of my thing. As she gets bigger, I need to get smaller. But yeah, so with it being against the wall, I don't need a bumper or anything like that, because we tried that on Royal with I have like an inflatable bed rail, and she just pushed it right off and fell off the bed. So at least with the cruise lines, our beds are against a wall, so she can easily sleep and I can somewhat sleep. We get used to it after a while, but yeah, so if we win the lottery, our 21 day, we are getting separate rooms, so that way I can have a big bed. And my brother, I don't care what he does. Actually, we would upgrade to a cabana room. That's what we would do. And then my daughter can like sit out in the cabana area and play while I sit there and read a book and actually relax and all that stuff, because cruising is sometimes harder with her compared to pre-child. Yeah, she's nodding. Yeah, you just keep me on my toes, don't you? Yeah, very busy child. But yeah, so there's our 13-night Norwegian Fjords. We are so excited. I think the scenery is going to be breathtaking. Alaska is beautiful. Alaska is like one of our favorite places, is our current favorite place, but I think Norway is going to trump that. Just because I think that Norway is going to be Alaska, but better and more beautiful, because you're going in the fjords. So you're going to have nature and beautifulness around all the time. We're hoping to see whales. I heard, I think it was from Bryony, that there are whales up there. So I'm hoping we will see some whales. But obviously we'll see some other wildlife and whatnot as well. So excited for that. So if you're new to the channel, I try to do these lives weekly. It doesn't always work out that way. Correct. A lot of whales. Yay! Or orcas. Okay, perfect. That's what I want to see. I want to see the wildlife. That's what we're in for. Cruise season has opened up where I am. The biggest one for the season, something like 8,000 people on it, more people than in town. So Royal Caribbean currently has the biggest cruise ship, which is the Icon of the Seas, which is 7,600 people. So I'm interested to see what ship came in. That was a big ship. If it was a royal ship, it would be an Icon class ship, not an Icon, Oasis class ship, because that's their Icon of the Seas is the only Icon class ship, and then currently, and then MSC Virtuosa. Yeah, I'm curious how many people they have in that one, and I don't have a second phone to look it up, but I'll have to look it up to see what. 8,000 including the crew. Oh yeah, okay, that makes sense. Yeah, I tend to go by passenger size. So yes, 8,000 including crew. Yeah, like that's too big, because that's probably 6,000 passengers, 5,000 to 6,000 passengers, which is not my thing, not my thing at all. I tend to like under 3,000 passengers. That's kind of my go-to. Oasis is the biggest ship that we've been on. 6,334 passengers. Yeah, see, I'm pretty good at guessing based off of total guest sizes. And also a cruise line like that, 18 decks. The decks don't worry me, because like and too big for me, because for instance, we have been on like the Crown Princess, which is like 19 decks, I believe. So the upwards is not so much the issue, it's the width and the length. And honestly, it's the passenger size. Passenger size is the number one thing I look for. I prefer under 3,000. I think Oasis, I can't remember exactly, but it's closer to that 5,000-6,000. And it's too many. There's too many passengers. It's just not for me. We like the smaller ones. Jewel, I can't remember exactly, but I want to say it's like 2,400 passengers, somewhere around there. It's on the smaller end for Royal. Our thing is we need enough passengers that there's amenities and that there's activities. It'll be interesting with Jewel. These are too big for the harbor, so people come on, off in a tugboat type thing. Yeah, so they're on a tender. I actually have a video coming out this week about the tender process. So when ships are too big to dock, or if there is no dock, or if the dock is too busy, which we've had all three of those before, you have to tender into the port. So that does not surprise me. Is this Southampton? Oh no, you're up north. So yeah, okay, so you're doing like the Shetland Islands one, right? Is that the port you're talking about? I think that's a tender port in general. If I remember correctly, that is a tender port in general, where majority of ship. Lerwick. Yeah, so I think that's one that most ships tender in, unless it's a small ship, which I don't go that small, because then you lose amenities. You lose food variety, you lose activities, you lose stuff when you get that small. We will be doing that for Antarctica, because if we don't go with that small of a ship, we can't actually dock, or I shouldn't say dock at Antarctica, we can't actually get off and do the little, can't remember, like zebra boats or something like that. You can't actually get and set foot on Antarctica unless you have a small ship. So we will be doing a small ship for that, probably through either Viking or something else. Oh, you're going to do Antarctica? Yes, I am doing Antarctica when Viking is 18 plus, so we have to wait till Emirates goes there. Can you take me in your luggage? It's a small ship, so probably not. Viking does it, but Emirates would have to be, my daughter would have to be over 18 to do that, because Viking is adult only. But then I can't remember who else I was looking at. There was like another cruise line that wasn't one that I actively know. It was like Antarctic excursions or something, like expeditions or something like that. And that I think was recommended 8 plus, but my daughter has special needs. So she is currently almost 6. Her birthday's in a month. Jason's my brother's birthday. 40th birthday was yesterday. My brother's now 40. My older brother, I should say. AE expeditions, yeah, something like that. There was definitely some sort of like expedition in the name, and they recommended 8 plus, and they had treks onto Antarctica, because I want us to step on it. We only need to step on it once. Once we're on it, I'm very much like I touched this land, good to go. But developmentally, so she's almost 6, but developmentally she's still around like 1 year old, and she might never change from that, but she is growing just at a slower rate. So I want to make sure that she's physically large enough, because right now she's getting big, but she's still on the small side, and she will always she has Down syndrome, so she's always gonna be small. But also just being able to follow directions a little more consistently, and possibly having like better communication with her communication device and stuff like that. So because it's not a typical thing. It is an expedition, and also with her mobility issues, just wanted her to have a little bit more mobility, / me be able to hike with her on my back better, which as she gets bigger, that will be harder, but yeah, just trying to do something that like we can figure out something that's a little bit more accessible. I don't think Viking might be, but I don't know that I want to wait till she's 18. Like, it'll kind of depend. My brother and I currently teach full time, so I only have summers, Christmas, spring break off. So obviously it would be magical to win the lottery, to be able to do YouTube full time, to do travel agent full time, because I'm a part-time travel agent, doing any combination of those 3 things to be able to quit my full-time job. But realistically, that might not be in the cards for me, and I'm okay with that. But my plan is that I have 25 years till I retire, and so being able to, 24 years to retire right now. I can retire in 19 years, but my mortgage won't be paid off, and my thing is I want my mortgage paid off. So our plan is that, my hope is that we can every like 5 years or so take a year off, have me go on personal leave for a year, or even 6 months, go off on leave, to be able to hit some of those cruises that we can't do during summer or Christmas or spring break. So Hawaii is one, because it's a 16-day cruise, and so the option for that is potentially I can take days off before or after Christmas, and we do it over Christmas break. But there's no guarantee I can get those days off, but that's one option. Panama Canal is also 16 days, because we want to do the full transit. So that's again one that we could potentially do over Christmas, but it would depend on if I can get time off. So those are 2 that we're talking about. Like if I took a year off work, those are 2 that I could squeeze in during that time off. And then, or even if I took a half a year off, right? February to June kind of thing. If my school board allowed it, they don't have to allow it, but so those are 2, and then Antarctica is only done in our winter time, because it's summertime there, so that's another one that we can only get during that time. So we're kind of talking about stuff like that. I think Australia, New Zealand is another one that we can't do in summer. But anyway, those are ones we're talking about. Okay, if every 5-ish years I can take a year off, then that would be perfect, and then we can do all those cruises in that year, and then like just try to plan it so that way we can do the ones. So it'll probably be like at least 10 years before we do Antarctica, just realistically. But I currently have cruises on my list until I think 2036 or something like that. Whether or not we actually do them in that order, I know we won't, because we were not planning on doing Europe until my daughter was at least 8 or 9 years old. We scrapped that plan, and we're doing Europe this year. We also planned on not doing Alaska for forever, because we thought we were going to hate Alaska, and we did Alaska last year. We were planning on doing British Isles 2025, but for the price, for just a little bit more than a 12-day UK one, British Isles one, we were able to do a 21-day Mediterranean. So we have our plans, but the order that we do stuff tends to rely more on price and what's available than what is on my spreadsheet. It's more of just like a guideline of these are the places I want to go to. So our current plans moving forward, so we have August, we are going to the Southern Caribbean, me, my daughter, and a friend. And we are hitting up Aruba, Curacao, and Perfect Day at Coco Key. Those are our ports for that, which we're going to get to go to South America, so that's exciting. And we haven't been to Southern Caribbean. Then we have, that's on the Adventure of the Seas. And that is our last Royal Caribbean cruise that is currently booked, and any plans. I'm not going to say we are never going on Royal again, because that's not something I'm going to say, but we have no plans on going on Royal ever again, just because our cruising style, our cruising does not match their demographic. They've changed a lot towards the whole ship is a thrill park, and that's not how we roll. We like karaoke, we like earlier shows, we like earlier meals, we like earlier parties happening at 9 p.m. or 8 p.m. and not at 11, 12 p.m. So then we're switching completely over to Princess. So we have a back-to-back Eastern Western happening at Christmas time on the Sky, which I'm super excited for. That will be our first time on a Royal class ship with Princess, and I have a feeling that's going to be our favorite cruise, our favorite class of ship. It, I think, has the good combination of it's a newer class. It's a slightly bigger than the grand class of ships, but not crazy big, but it'll have the amenities. It has a beautiful buffet, which we are buffet people. There seems to be a ton more food options than what we had on our Crown cruise. And just being able to do a bigger, newer ship that's not crazy big. I feel like it's probably in the 3,600,000 people range, so it's a little bit bigger, but not out of craziness. And it's a beautiful ship. So anyway, so we're going on the Sky Princess, and then spring break. So Easter is my spring break. And so the end of April of 2025, we are going to Mexico cruise as a group cruise. So if you're interested in cruising with us, I think I have one more interior, but someone might be booking it. But until they deposit it, until it's deposited, I don't count it as booked. So I have one more interior, and then I have 2 balconies left on our group cruise. Currently, deposits are $135 Canadian. Americans are welcome to join us. But everything's priced in Canadian because I'm a Canadian travel agent. I can price in US for individual bookings, but not for group bookings. The groups are booked at one currency. So currency, because most of my clients that are cruising with us are Canadian, I book it as Canadian. So it ends up to be a little bit cheaper for Americans with the exchange. But we also have third and fourth guests free. So the $100 deposits, 135 Canadian deposits, and third and fourth guest sale free, just paying port fees and taxes. Those end at the end of this month. So I can't guarantee that Princess will extend it. They have in the past, but there's no guarantee that they will not. They will just drop it. So that one there is, we did this cruise last Christmas, or last New Year's, I should say, and we hit up Cabo San Lucas, Mazatlan, and Puerto Vallarta. Those are our 3 ports. And we are going on the Discovery of the Seas. Discovery Princess, wrong cruise line. Discovery Princess. See, this is what there was a rumor that Royal Caribbean was going to do, a Discovery of the Seas and have it be a small LNG ship for small ports. But anyway, Discovery Princess, which is a Royal class ship, so it's very similar to the Sky Princess. Super excited to go on that. We're hoping that we go on that for Alaska, but we're not quite sure because price will be determined. What's the matter? Price will determine that more than anything, but we are excited to do that. We have a lot of people. If you are looking for a cruise that is super inclusive, this is the cruise. We have multiple people with Down syndrome, autism, ADHD, cerebral palsy. We have everything on this cruise. So if you're I want to go cruising, but I'm not quite sure because I have this accessibility need. Yeah, come join us. We got it. And so our group cruises, there's no obligation to spend any time with us. It is more just the fact that we get onboard amenities, like we'll probably get onboard credit, and just having that support while on the cruise. Like I will be physically there. If you have questions, you don't have to go to guest services. You can just find me, and I'll probably try to add everyone to the app so that way you can message me, because I can add you as a friend if you want to be added as a friend, and then you can message me and be like, hey, or I think you can probably also track me too if I put it, and you can just come and find me and be like, oh, Michele is currently at this venue, I'm gonna just go talk to her, and that's what I'm there for. That is what a group cruise is. Oh, you're throwing pizza at me. She's throwing lately and she thinks it's hilarious. That's her new skill. So yeah, if you want to come join us on a group cruise. So that is April of 2025, and then we are doing 21-day Mediterranean in August 2025. And then we currently have a group cruise booked for Panama Canal for Christmas 2025, where we just go in and we just go it's a partial transit, but I'm 99% sure I'm canceling that one. I haven't been advertising it, because I'm not sure I can escort it. And I just, I think we're probably going to cancel that one. So don't book that one. I mean, if you want to book it, you can. I'm just, heads up, I'm probably canceling it as a group cruise and I'm not escorting it. Just because timing and stuff like that. And we are not liking the flight prices to go to Fort Lauderdale. We have discovered that with this back-to-back cruise this Christmas, flying to Fort Lauderdale at Christmas is horribly expensive. And timing and stuff like that is also very rough. So we are going to try to stick more to the ones that we can fly direct and the ones that we can fly for not crazy expensive. We fly WestJet, and I have the WestJet MasterCard, so I get companion vouchers. So we get, my daughter will fly free. You just pay all the extra fees, or you fly for $119. We get reduced rate for her anyway, once a year. And so we are looking at, and then I also earn WestJet dollars and stuff. So my flights get cheaper because I can do points and stuff. So we are looking at only flying to LA, which would be a Mexico cruise, Vancouver, which would be for Alaska, and then Southampton or London, which would be for Southampton cruises. That's would be all our Europe. Whereas Royal goes out of Amsterdam for a lot of the European ones. Princess goes out of Southampton, which is perfectly fine with us. Mediterranean, we're going to fly to Barcelona. It's a one-way from Istanbul, Turkey to Barcelona. And so our plan is to fly round trip Barcelona and just add on that second flight. We're going to go to Barcelona for a day and then go to Turkey the next day, and then we end at Barcelona. So we can book a round trip WestJet flight, which is direct to and from Barcelona, and then just deal with the logistics after that. And I can use my companion voucher for that, so that will end up giving a good discount. That one I have to pay, I think, $3.99 for her because it's international, but that's our plan, is to kind of stick with those ports. But yeah, so we hit up, where am I at now? So that's Christmas 2025, probably not doing anything. I think our plan is to maybe just stick around doing stuff locally. And then summer 2026 is not currently out. I don't have dates for spring break 2026 yet because my school schedule isn't out yet for that. So I won't know that until like March, April next year, in terms of if I'm going to do another group cruise. We'll also see how well this group cruise goes before deciding if we want to do another group cruise. It'll be to Mexico again. I think we're just going to stick to doing Mexico every year if we do that, because it'll be Discovery Princess. It's kind of the cruise that does that. So yeah, we'll have to decide. It'll depend on dates. It'll depend on availability. What is going on down at that end. But then summer 2026, we are doing our big Alaska cruise. So we will be doing a group cruise. Either the second or third week of July, we will do a group cruise depending on pricing and the ship and the itinerary and whatnot. We're going to do a 7-day, most likely 7-day, potentially a longer one, but most people seem to want to do a 7-day, so we're probably doing that. And so having that, and then round trip Vancouver, and I'm taking like pre-orders basically where I'm setting up the system to have everyone in place. And if you are definitely 100% wanting to book one, I can reserve one for like 24, 48 hours without deposit. So it will get you the best rate. So we are doing that one. And then we're doing 4 weeks of Alaska cruise after that as well. We're going to do, so that's going to be round trip Vancouver. And then we're going to go north, south, north, south. That is our personal plan. If anyone wants to join us for that chaos, you're welcome to. I'm happy to set up as a group cruise, but we're basically trying to get more people to just do the 7 day, because most people can't get time off work and stuff for doing 5 weeks of Alaska or 3 weeks of Alaska or whatever. But we're just gonna Alaska it because flights to Vancouver are very cheap for us. And then just kind of having a chill year, because Mediterranean's gonna be busy. And just kind of have like a reset year of being like, okay, we just want to be on the ship, enjoying the crew, the consistency. We'll be doing what's called a side-by-side back-to-back. So we'll be going from one ship to another ship. We will have to transfer ships, because it's not likely that the ship that we are on for our 7 days is going to be the one that we're on for the 4 weeks after that, because the one that goes north-south tends to do that all season. Meanwhile, the other ones loop all season. So we will be doing that 2026. And then our plan currently for 2027 is to head over to Southampton. So flying into London, getting over to Southampton, and doing a back-to-back something. Potentially doing, depending, these are the ones we're looking at. We're looking at doing a Scandinavia one, hitting up Sweden, Denmark, Estonia, Lithuania, like all in that area. I think it hits up Germany and stuff too. We're looking at hopefully doing one like that. And then potentially British Isles, and or British Isles with Greenland, Iceland. Or Iceland. One like I can't remember what the itineraries are, but something like that. Greenland, Iceland with the UK, and maybe what's in Scotland. Like I feel like the one that goes up there doesn't do as many British Isles ports, but for us, we just kind of want to get something over there. But we will do a back-to-back. We're hoping to do like 2 16-day back-to-backs, or 32 days of cruising, something like that. And we'll probably set up both of those as group cruises, so that if people want to hop on those, they can. That's not until 2027, so we won't even be booking them until this time next year. Actually, yeah, this time next year. I think Europe just came out, or is just coming out for Princess, so we'll be doing that roughly this time. Alaska, unfortunately, doesn't come out until like summer, which is why we are currently just in limbo land for the Alaska one. But anyway, I have to go catch some kittens that decided to be born in my backyard, and bring them to our local humane society, and they can deal with them. But we need to go do that, and we need to get groceries. But thanks for hanging out with me. Don't forget to subscribe if you want Princess content, if you want cruise content. We will have Jewel of the Seas content and Adventure of the Seas content. But then we will be done after that with Royal, and they'll be like exclusively Princess content, kitten pictures. I'll message you pictures, Bryony. They're pretty darn cute, but they are not staying here with me. But yeah, anyway. Stray cats. If you have a cat, please keep it inside. And if you aren't going to keep it inside, please spay it or neuter it or whatever. Just please, no, I don't, not done. They're adorable, but anyway, we're not keeping any. So yeah, so if you want Princess content, we are doing tons of Princess content. I'm gonna, even with our Royal Caribbean content, I'm still gonna try to push out at least 1 or 2 videos a month on Princess exclusively, because that's my preferred cruise line. Also, we redid our floors, and I like banged myself up, and I got bruises. Anyway, I lost my train of thought. Yeah, subscribe, join us. Anyway, thanks for watching. Also, if you want to see crazy adventures in Canada, we have started a new channel called Canada by Car. If you @ Canada by Car on YouTube, you should hopefully find us. But we're not consistently posting over there. But yeah, we have some stuff that we're hoping to push out there. We did a road trip this weekend, and we almost didn't make it home. So we did though, but we're going to be pushing content there. Facebook groups, I have a cruise Facebook group if you want cruise tips, tricks, advice, all that kind of stuff. Link is in the description, but basically Traveling Beyond Boundaries. So facebook.com/group/Traveling Beyond Boundaries, I think, is the link. And then we also have a Canada by car one as well, which is the same, and then Canada by car. So anyway, all those links, except for the Canada by car stuff, is in the description. And if you want to book a cruise with me, you can also book a consultation. I do free consultations to get you started. But other than that, well, I will see you guys later. Bye. Look, almost an hour chatting. YouTube changed where the thingies are, and now I'm like, bah, sorry, you're gonna see my finger. Bye bye.